Most buyers think any SUV with a premium badge is a safe bet. But what if I told you that some of the most popular SUVs rolling into 2026 will drain your bank account faster than a boat with a hole in it? Vehicles that look absolutely stunning in the showroom, but quickly turn into financial nightmares in your driveway. In this video, we're counting down the 10 SUVs everyone will regret buying in 2026, ranked from bad to absolute disaster based on reliability data and real owner horror stories. And trust me, some of these choices will shock you. From hybrid systems that stall without warning to electric vehicles losing half their value in 2 years, these SUVs are riddled with problems that'll ruin your ownership experience. And here's the kicker. The #1 vehicle on this list has a defect so severe that owners are still waiting for a fix after multiple recalls. Stick with me to the end because this isn't just a ranking. It's a buyer's guide to avoiding vehicles that could cost you tens of thousands in repairs and depreciation. Miss this, and you could be stuck with a beautiful SUV that spends more time at the dealer than in your garage. Let's jump right in with number 10. Number 10, the 2026 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. The Alfa Romeo Stelvio is what happens when you fall in love with how a vehicle drives and completely ignore what happens when you try to sell it. Owners absolutely love this thing. Performance ratings hit 4.9 out of 5. Styling gets the same score. Behind the wheel, it's pure automotive poetry. The problem is, the market doesn't care about your emotional connection when you're ready to trade in. J.D. Power rates the Stelvio's resale value at just 67 out of 100. That's a failing grade in financial terms. But here's where it gets truly painful. The high-performance Quadrifoglio trim, the one that makes your heart race, can lose over $38,000 in value in just 1 year. Not 5 years, not 3 years, 1 single year. This is the textbook definition of buying driving euphoria and paying for it with financial regret. You're getting an SUV that handles like a sports car, sounds incredible, and turns heads everywhere you go. But the moment you drive it off the lot, you're watching your investment evaporate faster than water in the desert. The 2026 buyer needs to understand something critical here. You're not buying a vehicle that holds value. You're buying an experience, and that experience comes with a massive depreciation tax attached. If you can stomach losing potentially 40% or more of your purchase price in the first few years, then maybe this works. But for most buyers looking at SUVs as practical investments, the Stelvio is a financial roller coaster that only goes down. The driving pleasure is real. The financial pain is even more real. Number 9, the 2026 Range Rover Evoque. Land Rover has a reputation problem, and the Range Rover Evoque perfectly illustrates why. Consumer Reports gives it a predicted reliability score of just 2 out of 5 for the 2025 model year, and there's zero reason to expect the 2026 version will be any different. Owners love the styling, they love the comfort, but reliability, that's consistently cited as its weakest point. The mechanical failures start showing up embarrassingly early. We're talking about front suspension issues and control arm replacements needed within just a few thousand miles of ownership. These aren't minor rattles or squeaks. These are major structural components in the front end that cost serious money to fix. And they're failing while the vehicle still smells new. But the pain doesn't stop with expensive repairs. The Evoque has one of the most frustrating cabin control systems you'll encounter. Adjusting basic functions like temperature and fan speed can require up to 5 separate steps through the infotainment system. You're navigating menus while you're trying to drive, which increases distraction and cognitive load every single time you want to change something as simple as how cold the air conditioning blows. This is the style over substance tax in its purest form. You're paying luxury pricing for a vehicle that looks fantastic in photos and feels premium when you first sit in it. But then reality sets in. Expensive suspension repairs before the first oil change. A user interface that turns every minor adjustment into a multi-step process. And a reliability track record that puts it near the bottom of its segment. The regret comes from realizing you paid for aesthetics and branding while accepting chronic mechanical failure and daily frustration as part of the package. Land Rover knows their vehicles look good. They're banking on buyers prioritizing that over everything else. Number 8. The 2026 Volkswagen Atlas. The Volkswagen Atlas has a reliability score of 2 out of 5, but what really sets it apart is the sheer volume of safety-critical failures. The 2024 model year had 16 recalls. 16. The Atlas Cross Sport had 11. These aren't minor issues. These are fundamental defects that required government intervention. The most alarming problem involves sudden, unprompted braking caused by malfunctions in the front assist emergency braking system. Imagine driving down the highway and your SUV decides to slam on the brakes without any input from you. That's not a minor inconvenience. That's a safety hazard that puts you and everyone around you at risk. Owners also report engine stalls, start-stop system failures, and widespread electrical problems affecting the infotainment and HVAC systems. The electrical issues run even deeper. The Atlas has been the subject of a class action lawsuit alleging defective door wiring harnesses that can cause airbag failures and random window operation. When your wiring is so bad that airbags might not deploy in a crash, you've crossed from unreliable into dangerous territory. Now here's where Volkswagen makes everything worse. The 2026 Atlas is getting a major technology overhaul. They're adding a massive 15-inch tablet-style touchscreen and ChatGPT integration. They're layering complex, unproven software onto an electrical platform that already can't handle basic functions reliably. This is the automotive equivalent of putting a fresh coat of paint on a house with a cracked foundation. It looks modern and impressive in the marketing materials, but you're compounding failure risk instead of fixing core problems. The Atlas is often praised for its spaciousness, and that's true. It's roomy inside. But if you need to hit the subscribe button right now, this is your reminder. Because what we're about to cover gets even worse, and you won't want to miss the top positions on this list. These next vehicles represent some of the most catastrophic ownership experiences you can have in 2026. Number 7. The 2026 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. The Jeep Wrangler has a cult following, and that loyalty often blinds buyers to some harsh realities. The 4xe plug-in hybrid variant scores just 2 out of 5 for predicted reliability, and ownership data confirms it's less reliable than almost any domestic vehicle on the market. It suffers from persistent electrical system failures and mechanical problems across the board. But the 4xe introduces specific issues that make the reliability situation even worse. Many units are powered by a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. For a vehicle as heavy as the Wrangler, especially one used in high-stress off-road applications, there are serious concerns about whether this engine can sustain the required performance over time. A naturally aspirated 6-cylinder would be far more durable for this type of use, but Jeep went with the Turbo 4 to meet fuel economy standards. The PHEV system also adds a massive weight penalty. If you're not charging the battery daily, the gas mileage becomes significantly worse than non-hybrid Rubicon trims because you're hauling around all that extra battery weight. The vehicle's already terrible aerodynamics make this problem even more pronounced. So you're paying a premium of over $62,000 for a hybrid system that only delivers efficiency benefits if you're religious about charging it every single night. The financial implication is brutal. You're paying luxury pricing for a vehicle designed to deliver off-road capability and fuel savings. But you're getting a fragile product that requires constant maintenance and fails to deliver those fuel savings the moment the battery runs out. The Wrangler is an icon. It has style and capability that enthusiasts love. But the 4xe version specifically is an expensive cult car that asks you to accept reliability compromises for a lifestyle purchase. If you're buying this for actual off-road use in remote areas, you're taking a serious gamble on a vehicle that's already known for electrical failures. Number 6. The 2026 Rivian R1S. Rivian has generated massive hype, and the R1S has genuine capability and appealing design. But it also has a predicted reliability score of 1 out of 5. That's the lowest possible rating, and the real-world owner experience backs up why that rating exists. Early adopters of the refreshed R1S report significant quality control failures right out of the gate. Loose interior trims are common. The software is unstable, causing intermittent audio failures and sensor errors. Motion cameras fail to save clips. Errors pop up warning about limited performance. These aren't minor glitches you can ignore. These are fundamental integration and manufacturing problems that affect daily use. The service experience makes everything worse. Owners repeatedly criticize poor communication and slow response times from Rivian service centers. Some owners explicitly advise against buying the vehicle if you don't live close to a service center. That's a massive red flag. When the people who actually own the vehicle are telling potential buyers to avoid it unless they have convenient service access, that tells you everything about how much dependency you're accepting. This is the startup struggle in full effect. Rivian is building complex proprietary electric vehicles with limited service infrastructure and no decades of manufacturing refinement to fall back on. The result is a vehicle with a 1 out of 5 reliability score and a geographically limited service network. If you live in a major metropolitan area with a nearby Rivian service center, maybe you can tolerate the frequent visits. But if you're outside those areas, ownership becomes a logistical nightmare. And when the warranty expires, you're stuck with complex proprietary components that require specialized service in locations that might be hours away from your home. The R1S has potential, but right now buyers are paying to beta test a product that's not ready for widespread ownership. Number 5. The 2026 Cadillac Lyriq. The Cadillac Lyriq shares the same Ultium electric platform as the Chevrolet Blazer EV, and it inherits all the same fundamental reliability problems. Consumer Reports gives it a 1 out of 5 predicted reliability score. Despite the more luxurious interior and refined styling, the core software and high-voltage system vulnerabilities are identical because they're built on the same architecture. Owners report issues similar to the Blazer EV: prolonged service delays, dealer networks that lack the training or capacity to diagnose deep platform defects, intermittent electrical failures that are difficult to replicate and fix. The fundamental problem with the Lyriq is the dissolving value proposition. You're paying a significant premium for the Cadillac badge and the nicer interior materials, but you're receiving the same high electrical and software failure risk as the cheaper Blazer EV. This means you're paying extra money purely for cosmetic enhancements and branding. You're not getting superior engineering. You're not getting better reliability integrity. You're getting the same problematic Ultium platform wrapped in a fancier package. The inevitable regret sets in when you realize that premium price doesn't translate to premium reliability. You're still dependent on the same overwhelmed service network. You're still dealing with the same software bugs and battery management issues. You're just doing it while having paid thousands more for the privilege. General Motors rushed the Ultium platform to market to compete in the EV space, and both the Blazer EV and the Lyriq are suffering the consequences. The 2026 buyer needs to understand they're paying for luxury branding while accepting the same mass market quality control failures. That's not a value proposition. That's a marketing illusion. Number 4, the 2026 Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. The Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV represents a different kind of regret. This isn't about mechanical failure. This is about financial catastrophe. The depreciation on this vehicle is so severe it borders on criminal. A 2023 EQS SUV lost 52% of its value in just 2 years. That's not a typo. 52%. On the lowest price trim, that equates to a loss of $45,300. Kelley Blue Book places the EQS SUV in the 75th to 100th percentile for depreciation among all 2023 SUVs, meaning it depreciates worse than almost every other SUV on the market. Looking forward, the projections are just as grim. A typical model starting at $108,650 is expected to lose 55% of its value after 5 years. That leaves you with a resale value of just $49,142. Some reports show the vehicle losing nearly 48% of its value in a single year. This level of value destruction represents a market correction. The initial MSRP was completely unsustainable, and the market has brutally repudiated it. This isn't a normal depreciation curve. This is financial collapse. The luxury electric vehicle market saw aggressive pricing changes as competition increased and early adopters realized the technology wasn't worth the premium pricing. The EQS SUV is ground zero for that correction. The regret here is immediate and measurable. From the moment you sign the paperwork, you're guaranteed to lose massive amounts of capital. This isn't a long-term investment. This isn't even a reasonable lease. This is paying luxury pricing to watch your money evaporate. The EQS SUV might be comfortable. It might have impressive technology. But owning one long-term is less of a transportation decision and more of a guaranteed wealth destruction strategy. If you absolutely must have one, lease it and let Mercedes eat the depreciation. Never ever buy one outright. Number 3. The 2026 Chevrolet Blazer EV. The Chevrolet Blazer EV is a textbook example of a vehicle rushed to market before it was ready. Consumer Reports gives it a 1 out of 5 predicted reliability score, and the initial ownership experience confirms exactly why. One owner reported hearing a headliner rattle within the first 10 minutes of taking delivery. That's poor physical quality control from day one. But the mechanical failures are far more serious. Within the first 200 miles, that same vehicle experienced a catastrophic failure. A red warning light appeared along with error messages confirming both the lithium-ion high-voltage battery and the 12-volt battery required immediate attention. Both battery systems failing simultaneously is a clear signal of profound platform instability. The warning lights sometimes disappear after a few hours, but that doesn't mean the problem is fixed. It means the vehicle is experiencing intermittent failures that are incredibly difficult to diagnose and repair. And when owners try to get service appointments, they're looking at wait times that can stretch for weeks because dealerships are overwhelmed and underprepared for these complex electrical issues. The underlying problem is systemic risk from rushed development. General Motors pushed the Ultium platform to production before it was fully debugged. The simultaneous failure of critical battery systems alongside basic build quality defects like rattling headliners proves the vehicle wasn't ready for customer delivery. The 2026 buyer is paying to be a beta tester for technology that should have spent more time in validation. This isn't a minor inconvenience. This is a vehicle that can strand you with critical battery warnings before it's even broken in. You're entirely dependent on a dealer service network that lacks the capacity and training to fix these deep-seated platform defects. And because these are software and electrical integration issues rather than simple mechanical parts, fixes often require lengthy diagnostic processes and uncertain outcomes. The Blazer EV might look good on paper, but in reality, it's a rushed product that's still being debugged on customer driveways. Number 2, the 2026 Mazda CX-90 and CX-70 PHEV. Mazda built its reputation on reliability and driving dynamics. The CX-90 and CX-70 plug-in hybrid models destroy that reputation immediately. Consumer Reports gives them a 1 out of 5 predicted reliability score. This represents a dramatic and alarming departure from everything Mazda has historically stood for. The primary failures center on 2 major systems: the transmission and the high-voltage battery. The transmission issues are particularly violent and jarring. Owners report severe jolts while decelerating that are so intense they've led to multiple repair attempts. These aren't subtle vibrations. These are violent shaking events that feel like the vehicle is tearing itself apart. The fact that these problems persist after multiple service visits suggests a fundamental design or manufacturing flaw that can't be fixed with software patches. The dealership response makes the situation even worse. When owners first complained about the violent shifting, dealerships dismissed them. They claimed the vehicle was operating within the appropriate range of shifting behavior. Only after customers filed formal lemon law claims did Mazda finally agree to replace entire transmissions in affected units. That's not customer service. That's damage control after legal pressure. This cycle reveals everything wrong with first-generation complex technology. You have a major mechanical failure. You have dealership denial and dismissal. And you have eventual costly component replacement only after owners threaten or pursue legal action. For buyers who trusted Mazda's established reputation for quality, this is a profound betrayal. The CX-90 and CX-70 PHEV models represent Mazda's attempt to enter the plug-in hybrid space, and they failed catastrophically. The 2026 buyer needs to understand these vehicles have chronic, severe drivetrain problems that Mazda couldn't resolve even with complete transmission replacements. This isn't a reliability concern. This is a fundamental platform failure that should disqualify these vehicles from consideration entirely. Number 1. The 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. The Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe takes the top spot as the SUV you'll regret most in 2026, and the reasons are devastating. Consumer Reports gives it a 1 out of 5 predicted reliability score. The base gasoline models already suffer from persistent steering, suspension, drive system, and engine electronics defects. The 4xe plug-in hybrid takes all those existing problems and compounds them with new hybrid vulnerabilities. The most critical issue is the rampant stalling problem. This isn't an isolated case. This is a widespread defect tied to Recall 95BE that still doesn't have a definitive fix. Owners are experiencing their vehicles stalling without warning, creating dangerous situations in traffic. And despite the recall, the fix hasn't resolved the issue for many owners. They're still dealing with the same stalling events after dealership service. But the financial consequences are where the real pain hits. Total cost of ownership analysis shows maintenance costs skyrocketing in the second year. Year 1 shows repairs at $542 and maintenance at $346. That's reasonable for a new vehicle. But year 2, repairs jump to $792 and maintenance explodes to $2,778. That's over $3,500 in combined repair and maintenance costs in just the second year of ownership. This rapid cost escalation is directly tied to the complexity of the PHEV system. The premium you pay up front for the hybrid technology immediately converts into massive repair liability. You're not buying efficiency, you're buying a financial obligation that activates the moment the warranty starts getting tested. The Grand Cherokee 4xe represents the worst of both worlds. You have legacy platform quality control issues that Jeep never fully resolved, and you have new hybrid system complexity introducing expensive failure points. You're paying over $60,000 for a vehicle that stalls without warning, requires thousands in maintenance before the first major service interval, and operates as a beta test for technology Jeep couldn't stabilize before release. The 2026 buyer purchasing this vehicle is accepting catastrophic reliability risk and guaranteed financial pain. This is the clearest example of rushed complexity destroying what should have been a solid product. If you want to know which SUVs actually deliver on reliability, check out our video on the most reliable SUVs to buy in 2026. We break down the models that hold value and won't leave you stranded at the dealership.